Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now we are beginning to see this extremely important signal flash on the chart while the price of Bitcoin is getting extremely close to breaking this symmetrical triangle pattern. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update on the US stock market. This right here is the Nasdaq 100 index on the daily time frame. And so far today, what we have seen is, first of all, the Nasdaq 100 index opened slightly below yesterday's daily candle close, but throughout the trading day so far, we've seen a slight gain in the stock market, although as of right now, it is struggling to hold onto this important price range, which is coming into play in between around 11,000 up to 11.2k for the Nasdaq 100 index. And as I explained in more detail in my last video that I posted yesterday on the channel, it is important for the Nasdaq 100 index to actually hold above this level in order to potentially confirm this breakout to the upside, because as of right now, we're basically in the retest phase for a possible breakout here. But technically speaking, as of right now, considering we have not yet seen a successful bounce from this level, we have not yet seen a lot of confirmation for this breakout to the upside, which is why it is important for the Nasdaq 100 index to hold onto this price range right here. And now, in the meantime, while the Nasdaq is struggling around this price range, we still have this bullish divergence, which is technically playing out, which basically means we're due to see reduced bearish momentum. And typically, when we see a bullish divergence on the daily time frame, it lasts for around 1 to 2 weeks before it begins to fade away. And so, if you're measuring the amount of time between this bullish divergence confirming to where we're sitting at right now, it's actually been around a week. So basically, within the next 1 week or so, we could begin to see this bullish divergence on the daily time frame begin to wear off. But anyway, now getting into the Bitcoin part of this video, because right now the price of Bitcoin, as I'm recording this video, is currently testing this important range of support, which is coming into play in between around 18,500 and 19,000. And technically speaking, while the price of Bitcoin is still above this important range of support, we have not yet confirmed the next leg to the downside. But if we begin to see daily candle closes below around 18,500, then in that case, that would significantly increase the probability of the price of Bitcoin breaking below the 17.6k low and basically forming a new lower low. But once again, at least as of right now, that has not yet happened. So we haven't yet confirmed the next leg to the downside in the price action, although we potentially are seeing an early signal for this happening if we're looking at the daily Bitcoin RSI, because as we speak, the daily Bitcoin RSI is currently dropping below this ascending line of support. And I'll talk more about that in just a moment, but while we're on this chart right here, just giving you a really quick update on the daily Bitcoin MACD. And basically, as of right now, the daily Bitcoin MACD hasn't really changed all that much over the last few days. So as of right now, it's technically still showing very low momentum to either direction. And so if you're going off what the daily Bitcoin MACD is showing and what the Bitcoin price itself is showing on the daily time frame, we could still end up seeing a little bit more choppy sideways price action. But if you're going off what the daily Bitcoin RSI is showing right now, once again, this is breaking to the downside, which is technically flashing a bearish signal. Because if we zoom further out on the daily Bitcoin chart and taking a look at the daily Bitcoin RSI throughout this year so far, pretty much every time when the daily Bitcoin RSI is in an uptrend holding above an ascending line of support, that basically means the price of Bitcoin is in more of a bullish relief, or at least a pause within the bearish trend. And obviously, as you can see right here in this most recent example, this has also been the case, because ever since the daily Bitcoin RSI started to trend back to the upside, forming higher lows, we saw the price of Bitcoin essentially stop heading to the downside and basically just trade sideways. But obviously, as you can see in all of these previous examples, when it finally got to the point where the daily Bitcoin RSI broke below the ascending line of support, then that basically acted as a signal for more downside price action to come for the price of Bitcoin. And so technically speaking, based on the daily Bitcoin RSI, this is now flashing the fourth bearish signal that we've seen so far this year in this indicator. And so basically what this is telling us is that we're due to see some more downside price action for the price of Bitcoin. But remember, this is just based on the daily Bitcoin RSI and ideally we need to see some more confluence. And so if we start to see other signals like the price action itself breaking back below around 18,500 or the daily Bitcoin MACD starting to show some more bearish momentum, then some of those other signals could obviously further confirm that next leg to the downside. But once again, as of right now, the daily Bitcoin RSI is flashing this early bearish signal that could precede the next leg to the downside if we're simply looking at all of these previous examples. And now zooming into the 8-hour Bitcoin charts, because right now the price of Bitcoin as of recording this video is potentially beginning to break to the downside from this symmetrical triangle pattern. But it is important to mention that at least at the time of recording this video, this break to the downside hasn't really confirmed as of right now, because we still need to see some 8-hour candle closes and ideally a daily candle close below this level of support, which by the way is sitting at around 19,000 in order to confirm this break to the downside. And ideally, if we could see a retest flipping this previous support line into new resistance again, that could act as extra confirmation, which can give us more confidence in that move to the downside. But it is important to mention that a retest isn't a requirement for the break to the downside. It would only be extra confirmation, which once again gives us more confidence that the price is really breaking to the downside. And also, in case you're wondering, the next daily candle close is in roughly around 8 to 9 hours from now. And so once again, we really need to see a daily candle close below around 19,000 in order to confirm this initial break to the downside for this symmetrical triangle pattern. And if that happens, then the technical price target to the downside for this bearish scenario would be sitting at around $16,000 per Bitcoin, which from the break to the downside to that price target would be a drop of around 15% approximately. But I want to make it clear that this technical price target at around 16,000 would only come into play if we confirm this break to the downside below 19,000. But if this bearish scenario does end up playing out, there's actually ways to make a lot of money in crypto even during a bearish move like this. And if you want to know exactly how you can profit big from a bearish move like this, then stick around to the end of this video. But anyway, now zooming into the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, because right now the price of Bitcoin has just found perfect support along this line of support that I've been talking about for a while now on this channel, which is sitting at around 18.7k approximately. And so as of right now, this is still the short-term level of support that I'm currently paying attention to for the price of Bitcoin. But if the price of Bitcoin breaks below around 18.7k, then the next short-term level of support would be sitting closer towards around 18.2k. And as for some resistance levels in the short term for the price of Bitcoin, one resistance level to pay attention to right now is sitting at around 19.1k, which was actually some previous support. But typically when the price breaks below support, it flips into new resistance again. But if the Bitcoin price confirms a break back above around 19.1k, then the next short-term level of resistance to the upside would be sitting at around 19.7 to 19.8k. And then anything above around 19.1k, then I would expect some resistance further up towards around 20.3k. And as of right now, in the 4-hour Bitcoin price oscillators, these are still showing very low momentum at the moment. And so at least as of right now, on the 4-hour time frame, we still do not have many signals telling us that we're exiting this more choppy sideways price range. And so just in the immediate short term, we could still see a little bit more choppy sideways price action. But once again, that could all change if we end up seeing a daily candle close below around 19,000. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily Ethereum to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is basically trading exactly on this ascending line of support, which is sitting at around 1280 to 1290. And something similar can be said for the daily Ethereum RSI, because right now, the daily Ethereum RSI is also retesting its ascending line of support. So right now really is a critical moment for the price of ETH on the daily time frame, because once again, if we end up seeing a daily candle close with the price action below this ascending line of support, or with the RSI below its ascending line of support, then that would obviously be a bearish confirmation signal, signaling more downside price action. But technically speaking, at least as of right now, we have not yet seen a confirmed break to the downside for both the price of ETH and also the daily Ethereum RSI. And so technically speaking, at least as of right now, based on these signals and the lack in confirmation at the moment, the price of ETH is still in this pause course, within the bearish trend. So we have not yet resumed the bearish trend, at least as of right now. And the same can also be said about the daily Ethereum MACD, because this has not yet crossed bearish again, which means we have not confirmed a return in the bearish momentum on the daily time frame. Although as of right now in the daily Bitcoin MACD, like I've been saying over the last 1 week or so, this is still showing a lack in bullish momentum. And so even though it hasn't flipped bearish again, it isn't exactly showing that we're going to see a lot of bullish price action, at least anytime soon. But with that being said, if you're zooming into the 4-hour Ethereum to US dollar chart, right now the price of ETH is just trading on the edge of this horizontal level of support, which is also sitting at around 1270 to 1280. And basically, if the price of ETH confirms a break below this support level, then the next support to the downside that I'll be looking at in the short term is sitting at around 1220 approximately. And as for some resistance levels in the short term, if we end up seeing a bit of a bounce from this level of support, then first of all, I'll be expecting resistance at around 1330 approximately. And then anything above around 1330, then I'll be looking closer towards around 1380. Anything above 1380, then I'll be looking closer towards around 1.4k. And anything above 1.4k, then I'll be looking closer towards around 1480 as another level of resistance. And now if you're taking a look at the 4-hour Ethereum price oscillators, first of all, looking at the 4-hour Ethereum MACD, at the moment, if you're looking at the histogram within the MACD indicator, this is currently showing reduced bearish momentum in the immediate short term, which is very interesting to see, because technically speaking, this is a very similar signal to what we have seen so far throughout this choppy sideways price range. And so technically, this is more of a neutral signal on the chart. And if you're looking at the 4-hour Ethereum RSI, if you're zooming in even further, we're actually seeing a very small bullish divergence potentially forming, although as of right now, this has not yet been confirmed because we still need to confirm this next 4-hour candle close in the green. And so if that happens, if we see this next 4-hour candle close in the green, then technically that would confirm this shorter term bullish divergence, which would basically mean that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum in the immediate short term, talking about the coming hours, maybe over the next 1 to 2 days, because remember, this is only on the 4-hour time frame. But anyway, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto throughout a choppy sideways price range like this, or in a scenario where the crypto market potentially plays out a bearish move like this, then check out these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is either very bullish or very bearish, like this example on screen. And the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto during a choppy sideways price range like this. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.